Donald Trump couldn't be any more panicked about his debate with Vice President Kamala Harris tonight, and it is showing. When Donald Trump has his back to the wall, he really starts to lose it more so than usual, get unraveled in every which way. And that is coming across with him lashing out on Truth Social, lashing out at Kamala Harris, lashing out at President Biden for some reason, and lashing out at his friends at the Fox propaganda network. Yes, not even Fox is safe from Donald Trump's panic rage, and it's because they had on Kamala Harris comms director Michael Tyler today, had him on the program. Not a shock to see different campaign representatives appearing on mainstream shows, but that was so unsettling to Donald Trump. His appearance, in which he absolutely shredded Trump, got him so angry.
What is she going to say when that happens?
Yeah, listen, I think, well, it remains to be seen what Donald Trump says. Obviously, his team decided to overrule him and has muzzled him somewhat on the debate stage. But I think regardless of which version of Donald Trump actually shows up on the debate stage, it is an opportunity for the vice president, right, to communicate her vision for where she wants to take this country. So when it comes to the economy, she will talk about the ways she wants to make sure that middle-class families can actually get ahead. She'll talk about her plan for a middle-class tax cut against Donald Trump's plan for an across-the-board middle-class tax increase. She'll talk about the work that she wants to do to lower costs, as we've already discussed on this program together. She'll talk about the work that she wants to do to lower housing costs, the work that she wants to do to spur and innovate small business growth, right? Making sure that we can actually increase the deduction for small business owners tenfold, given that it takes about $40,000 to start a new small business. She wants to increase the deduction from $5,000 to $50,000. And she'll make sure that people understand that that stands, again, in stark contrast to what Donald Trump wants to do if he's able to regain power. We already know on the economy, he wants to do nothing but more tax cuts for the ultra-wealthy, giveaways for corporations. We know his plans for abortion, whether he wants to talk about it on the debate stage or not. He wants to enact a national abortion ban with or without Congress. And he says on Truth Social that he wants to go after and jail his political opponents. I think that contrast is precisely why this campaign, as it enters the debate stage and as it prepares for the last 2 months of the campaign, is building an increasingly diverse coalition that spans the political spectrum. You have people like Liz Cheney who are standing up and saying that they intend to vote for Kamala Harris. You have people like Adam Kinzinger and Jeff Duncan who are calling out the threat that Donald Trump poses to the rule of law, to our Constitution, and to our democracy. And so for us, this is an opportunity to, again, speak to a wider swath of the American electorate and make sure that they understand the fundamental stakes, and the vice president intends on doing that.
An absolutely brutal takedown, and what I expect to see a lot of from Kamala Harris tonight. And if that is how Donald Trump is reacting to Fox News, having one of Kamala Harris's comms directors, one of the members of her campaign on, I don't know how he's going to hold himself together. I don't know how he's not just going to completely unravel on the debate stage, because like I said, he took to Truth Social angry as can be and typed away with those tiny little fingers, so upset, and posted this. Why does Fox News keep putting on, for endless periods of time, Michael Tyler, commas publicist, who spews nothing but lies, like Project 21,225? Etc. Fox tries to be so politically correct when the other side plays for keeps ridiculous. I love the idea that when a member of Kamala Harris's campaign goes on Fox, or really any Democrat at all, Donald Trump sees it as a personal affront to him, really telling on himself and telling on Fox, for that matter, that they are a propaganda wing for his campaign and that there can be no truth spoken about him on their network. No blows landed on him, or else he completely loses his mind because he knows what Fox is. It's the propaganda arm of his campaign, but Donald. I hate to break it to you, actually. I love to break it to you, but there's going to be no one standing in the way of you getting called out tonight. So that panic is going to get worse and worse. And like I said, and this is Trump's response to a 2-minute clip on Fox. I don't even know what he's going to be able to do with himself, especially when Kamala Harris is making this contrast between the old and deranged Trump and the fresh new face that she is. And that was so perfectly put by Gavin Newsom in this clip right here.
Kamala Harris has done in the last 8 weeks is unprecedented in U.S. history. She's closed the gap. We're not just within a margin of error. We've expanded the map in the United States. You saw new polls this morning. States that were not even in the conversation. Now Donald Trump has to either defend or he has to go out and invest millions and millions of dollars that were never imagined a few weeks ago. So no, I think the momentum is with us. She's the change candidate. There's a fresh air related to her. There's a stale air of normalcy related to Donald Trump. He's about the past. She's about the future. He's about chaos. We're about competency. It's about daylight and darkness. This is the easiest election in my lifetime. I love where we are. In this case, to make the case anew against a guy who's more unhinged, more deranged than he ever has been. He's more derivative, and I mean this. I'm a student of Donald Trump. We all are. We've had to live with him. He's less interesting. I mean, listen to these rambling speeches for hours and hours. His audience is even losing him. People are walking out. He's literally, listen to what he's actually saying and how he's saying it. The monotone nature, his economic speech. How about the answer on child care? And you're talking to me about families in America, and you're talking about cost of living. So I think she has a remarkable opportunity.
Kamala Harris is the exciting change candidate in this race. What's so great about this election is that we have the resumes already. We know that Donald Trump isn't just a former president, but a failed former president and a convicted felon. I think we should always bring that up as much as we possibly can. So he is more of the same. He is more of the old. And we already saw what his administration was, and as KLA Harris always says, we're not going back. But Kamala Harris represents these new ideas, change, and not only change, but unity. For once trying to bring us all together that we are so excited about. And that is the contrast that's going to be made up on state. That is the contrast that is getting Donald Trump so upset with Harris.com's director, Michael Tyler. And so I want to play another clip from him on Fox because I think it was a great takedown and we should check it out.
I think what you saw out of Donald Trump was somebody who, by the time he left office, the economy was in a ditch. We'd had unemployment rate, the uninsured rates had skyrocketed by the end of his term, and Joe Biden and Kamala Harris got to work to clean up the mess that he did. And this race is fundamentally about the future and what type of economy we're going to have.
Hearing Donald Trump be called out and shut down is always so sweet. But isn't it just so much sweeter when it's on Fox, when their audience has to hear it, when you see the host kind of tense up and they know they got to do their job as propaganda artists for Donald Trump, but just fear is in their eyes. But it's also so important to reach that audience. You know, there is a big demographic, maybe the vast majority of the Fox viewership that is part of the MAGA cold, but there are certainly those who just turn it on. Because they've always turned it on and that they could still have their minds changed. That's why it's always great when the Kamala Harris campaign is running ads on Fox. Like they did this morning, really trying to push Donald Trump's buttons, but also just show how ridiculous he is to the Fox audience with this ad right here that President Obama did recently. I'll never get over the little suggestion that he made at the DNC about maybe not the size of crowds, maybe the size of something else. We don't need to say specifically what it was, but also doing the accordion hands that he always breaks out. I really hope. And as we know, Donald Trump is watching Fox all day. It's the only thing he ever does is sit his butt on his golf course or watch Fox and do nothing. And so maybe he came across that ad. I hope to see another Truth Social post of him angry, but clearly Fox is getting under his skin today so much for him to attack them. And it's not just Fox who is really shockingly allowing truth to be played on their network, but Republicans lately have been taking issue with Donald Trump. And as we saw Michael Tyler talk about KLA Harris's comms director, his horrible economic vision. It wasn't just him calling it out. It was Nikki Haley as well.
She has said that she is not going to raise taxes on Americans making under $400,000. There are people who look at the tariffs that President Trump is proposing and say that that would be essentially a tax on middle-income families who would have to pay for it.
I disagree with Trump on tariffs. I mean, tariffs are meant to be used as leverage. They're meant to be used strategically. if you do tariffs across the board, you're raising prices on farmers, on businesses, on consumers. It's never a good idea.
Now, as we've talked about extensively on this show, I don't like this press tour that Nikki Haley is trying to do right now, where simultaneously she wants to be continuing her endorsement in support of Trump, but also trying to both sides. This thing where she's saying, oh, I don't like how he's campaigning, but I like him as a person and his policies. But she also says she doesn't like his policies. Nikki Haley is just a spineless political opportunist that is incredibly true. We see that more and more every day. But what I do, I'm not going to give her credit for it. Believe you me. But I do like the call-outs that are happening. I'll take her words and I'll just say, faceless. Nameless Republicans said this. I don't want to give Nikki Haley any credit, but yes, even Republicans who have endorsed Donald Trump know how bad his economic agenda is, and it will be called out on stage tonight. And I cannot wait for her to watch in this debate. Obviously, Donald Trump is not as excited as you and I probably are, as we can tell, but we are going to be covering every second of the debate tonight. And so if you want to check all that out, be the first to see it, make sure, like I said before, that you hit that subscribe button to stay up to date and hit that notification bell as well, so you can be the first to see. And until next time, I'll see you soon.